tons of marijuana in what they call the largest marijuana haul ever in the United States. The marijuana, apparently from Jamaica, brought in by boat, valued at more than $4.5 million, was found in some 400 large bags on a strip of land in northern Florida. 7 men have been arrested.
Between me and my friends, we probably smuggled over 3 million pounds of marijuana into the United States.
And I was chased by the Coast Guard 4 or 5 times. And they were close, but they never got to me.
I mean, I'd seen people smoke pot and laugh and joke and have funny stories, and that was all it ever amounted to. I just really didn't believe it was that terrible of a crime.
I think part of the reason I survived that little venture, they didn't think that I could be as much trouble as I turned out to be.
My brother Jimmy went down to Jamaica with the intent of bringing back some marijuana and selling it on the west coast of Florida. That first deal felt like I stepped into something that was going to change my life.
I'd never seen $15,000 in cash before. When you seen that money sitting on the table, you thought that, well, I could make some of that also.
I started with Mike Knight. Mike came to me one evening and said, "You want to go make some money tomorrow night?" I said, "Sure." I was making $7,500 a year fishing, and I made $5,000 for 8 hours work. Was just unreal to me.
When I first met Mike, I knew he was the guy. I knew that I could sell his reefer better than most anybody else he had. I just told him I need more, man.
If somebody did 5,000 pounds, we had to do 10. If they did 10, we had to do 20.
I remember one of the senior agents there saying some of the best marijuana smugglers in this country are around the St. Pete Beach area.
The big advantage they had was that they grew up together.
They were like a band of brothers.
Figure a 40,000 pound load, you pay $20 a pound for it, and it sells for $285 or $300. How much you got?
There was so much money, I mean, it was like, what the hell do you do with all this money?
The guys who ran the small boats in and out for an evening would make about $10,000. To a guy whose total annual income was about $13,000, that was a lot of money.
I don't know how many vehicles I had. We flew out of New Orleans, Houston, Miami, Tampa, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and we bought cars and parked them in the airports.
I probably had 15 houses in 6 different countries and 3 places in Amsterdam.
I think Jimmy Buffett said it best, made enough money to buy Miami.
Most of the smugglers that were local spread their money around that community pretty well, to the degree that the public officials there were willing to look the other way.
I was always managed to be able to elude them and get away from them. I never stayed in one place too long.
I had 20 or 30 different IDs at one time.
So we all had fake names, we all had licenses, we all had social security numbers.
I bought 1,000 blank Ohio driver's license, and I had the McDonnell Douglas official identification, and I had a press pass.
Because my credentials were so good, I never had to worry about being caught and staying in jail. The more ID you had, the better off you were.
We carried hundreds of thousands of dollars around everywhere. Never had a gun, never had anything. And then we got word that someone had been shot, and that was unreal.
There were all kinds of attempts to intimidate me, and there was about 5 or 6 men all standing in a semicircle with revolvers, which they were just sort of twirling at me as I came out.
They bound him up with gray tape and put tape over his eyes. And they shot Joe's girlfriend in the back.
He drew his pistol out, shot him in the chest. He directly looked me in the face, eye to eye. I've taken care of 4 people. I'll take care of 4 more if I have to.
I would describe my brother Jimmy as a diabolical psychopath. He murdered Karen Jolly and he shot Jeff Stitt, and there's a couple other people missing.
This is where we found the bodies. Went down to about 25, 30 foot.
We had like 2 foot visibility. Something caught my eye, but I didn't know what I was looking at. It was a human skull with a red and white handkerchief stuffed down the throat and a hole about the size of a quarter over the right eye.
I was arrested with 15,000 pounds of marijuana, and I knew that there was no way of me getting out of it. There was no way to run or anything, because I damn sure would have tried it.
At one point, her and I were the 10 most wanted drug criminals in the world.
I had a conversation with my dad. I said, you really did not work this plan out. This is a federal offense, and if we get caught for this, we'll go to jail for a very long time. It was raining snow, freezing, and we had 20,000 pounds of pot. The cops were down there waiting, and the lights came on them.
My whole world fell apart when he got arrested because he was my world. It was sad. It was just me and the kids.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement told me that the only way to stop smuggling in Dixie County would be to drive a stake through Bubba Capo's heart.
I want people to understand what it took for marijuana to be legal in the United States. The blood, sweat, and tears that went into making it happen.
I think about it every night, every time I wake up. What could have I done different? Getting involved in that is probably the worst thing that I've ever been involved in. And I don't know if I'll ever get over it. You can't dream things like this. I mean, you can't sit down and write a story like this.
Nice to meet you.